So, hi, welcome to Cormac's Kitchen. Just to let you know that all the ingredients we are using came from and are available in Cavestons of Glasstool. Tonight we're going to make a baked hake with a crab crust, and we're serving that with a sauce bercy. The ingredients for the sauce bercy are as follows. We have butter, shallots, some mixed herbs, some fish bouillon, white wine vinegar, and a lovely Bordeaux that we're featuring in the National Yacht Club. This is our house special. And also some nice fresh cream. So, we're going to start off by taking our fillet of silver hake, fresh silver hake, put it on the board. It helps if you have a knife that is sharp, but not too sharp. So, the angle that we're approaching the board at is 92 degrees. So is that you just move the skin. You see, this is the hand that's doing all the work. The one with the knife in it is really just moving a little bit from side to side. So there you go. A nice clean skinning procedure that is evidenced by the result on the other side. So now, to portion it, we want to make it look like each portion is a big fat fillet. So to do that, we do a little bit of subterfuge by making incisions and folding under. So this one here, you see what in real life that's what it looks like. So we cut the portion and then just tighten it up. You see? Becomes a big fat knuckly fillet. Trying to get 4 portions out of this. And there you go. So you got mama bear, baby bear, daddy bear, slightly different size. That's okay, won't kill me. Excuse me. So we have a little bit of herbs, because I can't get away from them. Can't get enough of fresh herbs. Put them on, and we have our crab mix. And in the crab mix is some, again, more fresh herbs. A little bit of egg. Today we're using egg to bind it. We could use a fish puree. I would recommend, if you were using a fish puree, that if possible, pike is a very creamy texture when you make it into a puree. So we have our crab stuffing. So we have a lovely, very nice crab that we picked up in Cavestons and Glasstool, and like I say, we're using that as our crust on the fish tonight. Now, a little bit of panko breadcrumbs. Sit them on top. Drop it on like snow. Just like snow. And we have some butter, and each one gets a generous glob of butter, because it's just crab and butter, they really like each other. So I always like to give a little bit of butter, if not butter, olive oil. In fact, let's give one of them some extra virgin olive oil, if I can find it. Yes, here we go. So, that one gets extra virgin olive oil. You can see if there's any difference when it comes out of the oven. A tiny bit more breadcrumbs. And then Parmesan cheese. The reason why I'm putting Parmesan cheese on is because it gives it a nice crusty umami finish. And here's your fleur de sel. Where is it? Our fleur de sel. That's a lovely flaky sea salt. Some freshly ground black pepper. And just a blush of smoked paprika. Now we're going to put that in the oven for 15 minutes at 180 degrees. So now we're going to make the sauce. And we start with, we have a nice heavy buttered pot. We take some butter. We won't use that. Some butter and start that cooking. I think it's a very nice touch if you get the butter just as it's turning brown. Just as the butter is about to turn brown, before you put any of your liquids into it. The reason why is because it brings out the nuttier flavour in the whey that is left there in the butter. And also I want the shallots to be at least translucent, and again to have that same just a very, very slight nut brown colour to them before I put the next ingredient in, which is the white wine vinegar. Some people will use a Chardonnay vinegar or a sherry vinegar, depending on what kind of a flavour it is that you're looking for. So now, here we go, white wine vinegar tonight. Put a splash of that. Cook the acid off of that. See that colour? I like that colour. There's your white wine. And again, you're cooking the alcohol off the white wine. You don't have to flame the alcohol if you don't want to. Yeah, you don't have to flame it. It's just that the boiling process will cook the alcohol away. And some cream. Fresh cream. I'll give it a bit more. And that needs to come to a rolling boil. Thank you. So, that needs to come to a rolling boil. I've put a few dried herbs, coriander, bay leaf, and tarragon. And these are the stem of the fresh coriander that I use for putting on top of the hake. So you're just looking for flavour from the herbs. You can also use thyme. Rosemary is a very good addition to put in there. Fresh thyme, fresh rosemary. But also today I'm using just a dry fish bouillon. I won't go into the detail of making a fish stock and a fume and reducing it down, and the devil's in the detail of that. But yeah, we're going to bring that to the boil and then start adding our room temperature butter to it. I'm just going over onto this ring here for a minute because it has a slightly higher heat. So I really wanted to have a good rolling boil before I start adding the butter in. Another little addition that you can put into it for extra flavour is this. It's called Squid Brand Nam Pla is the name of that sauce. The generic name is Nam Pla, but this is Squid Brand fish sauce. And yeah, that's it. It's basically fermented fish bits. So just put a little splash of that in, and it gives it quite a strong fish flavour. And now here we go. We put the butter in gradually. And this process is called monter au beurre, what I'm doing, which means to be mounted with butter. So I'm literally folding the butter into the sauce. I don't want to do it with the camera because it makes a lot of noise. For example, see, it's quite rattly, that. But That's really what I'm trying to do, is to have it on a rolling boil and to be adding the butter gradually. It'll just infuse without breaking. I don't want the butter to break. I want it to fold into the sauce. And you see the texture of the sauce is becoming thicker. Not because I'm reducing the cream. No. It's becoming thicker because I'm adding butter to it. You might want to make this in lesser or greater quantities at home, but when you start getting down into very, very small, like 2-4 portions, it can get quite tricky to get the proportions right. So that is all the butter that I'm going to put in there today, because I'm happy enough with the texture involved, with the texture that we've achieved today. And oh, if you could smell that sauce, oh, it's a fabulous flavor. Really, really good. And I'm going to just, for convenience, use a whisk for the last bit of it. Now, do you see the way it's beginning to burn up there where I was demonstrating? I'm going to avoid that side of the pot now, because I don't want that contaminating the flavour of the rest of the sauce. So I'll just finish it off like this. And now I'm going to strain it into another pot. With a rubber spatula, which I had earlier. Yeah? Now. Sorry, I know you can't see it. It's a product of my left-handedness. So, see, I'm straining that off. And this is a classical sauce. So I know a lot of you will be saying, oh, why are you wasting all those lovely herbs and shallots? You're looking for a classical result. And, excuse me, want it to be as smooth as possible. So, here we go. I've already heated our sauce boat by sitting hot water in it for a few minutes, and now that's ready to go. And if you like, a wooden spoon is it's a very standard practice for if you want to check the consistency of a sauce. You run it over the back of a wooden spoon and do this with your finger. Now you can see how thick or how not thick that sauce is. Just like legs on a glass of red wine or a glass of wine. So that's our sauce for today. Right, so here we are. Our hake is it's all cooked. It's been in the oven for 15 minutes. We just take it over there, put it on the plate, and we have our sauce here ready to go. And you nap that sauce neatly around, all around if you like, and you can put your veg on the plate or serve it on the side, and that's it from the National Yacht Club. A baked hake with a crab crust and sauce Percy.